All right, aloha, Tulsi-crats, independents, free radicals, all of you out there who are looking maybe for something different. You've certainly found somebody who is different. That is me. My name is Dave, but I'm just really some guy who decided that I wanted to do a channel, and I wanted to talk about issues that are really important to people. And then I decided to really go all in for Tulsi Gabbard, and I'll continue to be in for Tulsi, but I want people to understand what she is up against. Okay, and the reason I'm going here now, and I've decided to go in this direction, is because Tulsi Gabbard was systematically eliminated from a debate that she should have been in. A debate that Tom Steyer, a hedge fund manager, a billionaire, bought his way into. I don't know how else you look at it, and I don't know how Tom Steyer in any poll anywhere is qualifying for a Democratic debate. He's not going to be the nominee. You've already got a Tom Steyer in the race. His name is Joe Biden. You've got another one. His name is Mayor Pete. You've got another one. His name is Beto O'Rourke. Technically, you've got another one. Her name is Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is very wealthy, okay? I don't think she's as wealthy as Mr. Steyer, but I don't know how you have these people with all of this wealth who are telling you, what to think and how to vote and support me, because I'm just like you. I'm going to pop open a beer on New Year's Eve and show everybody how much I'm just like you. Meanwhile, my husband says no and goes in the other room. All right, so this is from, quick little thing here from the Democratic Party in Crisis. This is the Autopsy website. It's democraticautopsy.org. Great name. So they're trying to tell everybody what happened here. What did happen and why this ought to deeply worry Democrats. Now you can read the book as well by Thomas Frank called Listen Liberal. That's a book, by the way, that Jimmy Dore recommends quite a bit and said it really changed the way he thinks about these issues. That the Democrats are essentially, he likes to say, another arm of the Republican Party. Chris Hedges likes to say it's one party, it's the corporate party, and they're both right. They're both right. So what did happen? It should worry the Democrats, and this is what Tulsi Gabbard has to deal with and will be dealing with until she decides that she doesn't want to do this anymore or she wants to get out. There was a 16-point swing across all races. For those making less than $30,000 from the D to the R column, and a 6-point swing for those making between $30,000 and $50,000. Turnout among African Americans and Latinos was also far lower than many expected, which represents an ominous trend for the party moving forward. To put it in marketing terms, the Democratic Party is failing on a systemic level to inspire, bring out, and get a sufficient majority of the votes of the working class. There it is. Everybody has abandoned the working class. The Republicans are not for the working class, they're for corporations, and with the hope that that money will trickle down to those below. I'm not going to tell you the virtues of trickle-down economics. It would only work if the people at the top were gratuitous, if those people were charitable. They're not. They're greedy because you can see that there's a huge gap, and wealth inequality is growing and growing, which means less and less of this so-called trickle-down money is reaching those people. The government, using the military economy that they've put together, has created, little empowerment zones around these military bases and also around these companies, Northrop Grumman and all, Raytheon, those type of companies. By the way, Elizabeth Warren, big supporter of Raytheon. And they create economies in those areas. And believe me, the military is everywhere. So they certainly have a lot to do with the economy. And if you're hooked into that type of economy, you might be doing well for yourself. And by the way, that shows no signs of going away. Can I just say this? It's immoral. And that's why I support Tulsi Gabbard, because she knows it's immoral. The problem is, how do you dismantle it? If you're running in a party that is also more or less running away from trying to dismantle it. In fact, everybody in this party, go down the list, even Bernie Sanders, I believe, if he is the nominee, people will really have to hold his feet to the fire on the military-industrial complex. He talks about it. He talks a good game about it. But in the end, I'm worried that all of the investment that people want to make in these people who are leaving both political parties and, or in this case, they went over to Trump because Trump wasn't the Democrat, okay? And they thought, hey, Trump is running around telling people that he's for the working class. Trump just went in there and turned the spigots on full blast for corporations. And yeah, a lot of people are employed because they've got money, and so they're employing more people. The problem is there's too much income disparity. They're not sharing any of their profits. In other words, they're not sharing or giving back to the people who are making these people rich. And again, trickle down doesn't work because there's greed. If you eliminate greed, trickle down might work because people would say to themselves, well, I don't need $16 billion. What am I going to do with $16 billion? I can't spend that in a lifetime. So maybe I ought to do something charitable with the money. People don't do that, though. They just keep it and keep their estate, maybe share it with their kids or whatever. And that's fine, but the point is, the people down the ladder on a lower rung, those people should be making out better than they're making out, and they're not. So that's what Tulsi Gabbard is up against. She's in the midst of this. And anybody who's sitting here going, Dave, you're too pessimistic, you need to cheer up, you need to support Tulsi Gabbard and just hope for the best. Okay, again, the system is rigged against her. Watch this video for a moment. These are the kind of people who are underserved and need to be represented. Currently, they're not being taken care of whatsoever.
Our backs are against the wall, and we got no choice but to push.
Before you come down here and cast stones in a glass home, walk a mile in their shoes for a minute.
1 out of 16 people in Aberdeen are homeless. A lot of people are young. That's something that's...
In this encampment?
Yeah.
So they're millennials?
Yeah, between 18 and 35.
Between 18 and 35.
It's probably the largest demographic here.
No health care.
Over there's a memorial cross when my younger brother died this winter.
Here.
He had a heart attack or a stroke due to freaking pneumonia that he couldn't get to the doctor in time. But we kept trying to get him up there, and every time we sent him up there, they sent him back.
Yeah.
With no antibiotics, gave him a couple ibuprofen and said, oh, you'll get better. That's how they treat people down here. And he ended up having pneumonia so bad that he coughed so hard it caused a stroke in his head. Another thing to open your eyes to this area down here, when men get out of the service, we're overqualified for jobs. What is overqualified?
What is it? That's right.
It's their polite way of saying they don't want to take the risk to employing you. We were in charge of $1 million machinery, guns, everything. But we can't flip a burger, wash a car, or...
And you want to.
Just to work.
Just to work.
Get back into society, man.
I worked 41 years in the coal mines. I have black lung. And it's just unfathomable what these poor coal miners have to go through in order to get what they have worked for and deserve.
Incredible. And that's an industry, it's much like, the cigarette industry, tobacco industry saying, It'll be fine. You can work here. You can breathe this air. It's going to be great. And these things are really healthy. And you should, black lung disease. A poverty wage is violence. It is. Because you're basically telling people, good luck with that. And your life will be filled with turmoil and trouble. And, Jesus was a poor migrant, right? And he didn't have a place to lay his head. And the churches today, the majority of churches in America don't model their ministries on that type of humble service. And that's, again, why Tulsi Gabbard's message really resonates with me. But you've got to get more serious about how to get there. And if there's a political solution to this, it's not going to be in the Democratic Party. I don't know how it can be. Someone will have to explain to me how that works. Seriously, because I don't know how it works. This is what I keep getting. I keep getting, be optimistic. Be happy for Tulsi. Support Tulsi. Tell people about Tulsi. I can do that all day long. But if she's in a box that she can't get out of because the system is preventing her from getting out of that box, whether it's she can't speak or she can't be on a debate stage with other people, or there's an intentional media blackout, or when she does get media coverage, it emphasizes things that she said years ago or things that have no bearing on this group of people right here. See these people here? They truly need our help. And politically, we're doing zero for them. That graphic or that stat I showed you, they ran to Trump thinking that Trump would help them. Trump isn't helping them. So now, where are they going to go?
My name is Pamela Roach. I'm from Lowndes County, Alabama. And I live in a mobile home with my 2 kids. And I got raw sewage. I don't have no money on power. And I have to travel back and forth to Birmingham to take my daughter with the CPAP machine. Don't have a car and don't have no way to take her.
There's a new chemical company that's producing another carcinogen. And when you think of that, what effect does that have on us as people, especially our children? But in our community, it's amazing the people who just started dying of cancer. That became the big fear. And when my wife was diagnosed with cancer, I was amazed at the black women that would ring our doorbell and walk in the door and pull a wig off to show my wife that I have it too. That
I don't know. We are, and by the way, this is all across racial and ethnic lines. This isn't just black people. This is white people. This is Latino voters. This is everybody. All of these people who are underserved, they're looking for someone to represent them. And it's not happening. And you've got stuff like this out there happening. Tulsi Gabbard gets fired up about things like this. And, people watch this channel. Someone ought to show Tulsi Gabbard this video. Because here's the bottom line. As much as I want Tulsi Gabbard to win, I also want these people to be helped. I want everybody to be helped. And our country has got all of this wealth consolidated. And it's like we're hoarding it over here for ourselves. And this woman before there, she had raw sewage that they photographed in her backyard. And nobody can come and help her. I don't know what kind of world we're living in. I don't know if this is still the same country that I grew up in. All I know is that greedy people have gotten greedier, and it seems that the people who are underserved are getting served less and less and their voices aren't being heard in the political realm. And Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is one candidate, and she can't do it all by herself. And Bernie Sanders, same thing. We need systemic change, and it needs to happen sooner than later. We cannot keep going through election cycle after election cycle and hope for the best, because that's what we've been doing. And voting for the lesser of two evils is still evil, and there is no progress being made at all. And I think our country deserves better than that. So I don't know what else to say about this. I want to be optimistic, but, I'm just being real. So again, thanks for watching the channel. Don't forget, if you can donate to my channel via Patreon or via the PayPal email link that I will put in the description, it's much appreciated. I'm not looking for a lot. $1 or $2 here or there would be nice. And one-time donations, you can do what you can do. I imagine that there are people who watch this channel that don't have a lot, and that makes sense. Rich people are not going to be watching me talking about poor people. They're not interested in that. All right, see you soon.